Well, fall has hit the South in a big way. It is cool temperatures, but a sunny afternoon here at Vaught-Hemingway Stadium as the Ole Miss Rebels play host to Arkansas. A series that has really had some fantastic games over the years. Hopefully, we'll have another one to bring you this afternoon. You are watching SEC Network Football, presented by Allstate. Dave Neal alongside my partner, the All-American from the University of Georgia, Matt Stinchcomb. And Matt, these two teams, when it comes to the on-field product, very similar. They've struggled in terms of wins and losses. They've struggled with injuries. Now their quarterbacks have been banged up. This is a tough time for both these teams right now. You've been in this situation just once at the University of Georgia. Right. But how do you, as a player, how do you get through this?
Well, it's difficult. There's no question about it. And at the same time, when you come into a year, you recognize you're guaranteed 12 games, 12 opportunities to capitalize on the time that you invest throughout the balance of the year to prepare for your regular season. Ole Miss knew they would not have a shot at the postseason. Arkansas still has that chance, but that's just within the scope of this game. It's a rivalry game. This can be a springboard game for Arkansas under Brett Bielema. This has been a gateway win in the past to where they're able to get on the board on their conference schedule. Right now, the Razorbacks winless in conference play.
Arkansas has lost 3 in a row. Arkansas won the toss. They defer. Ole Miss will get it. Here is Jalen Jones, an explosive return man. Dances his way around to the 25-yard line. A 22-yard return. Of course, a new quarterback taking the snaps today in the starting role, Jordan Tombow, the junior, out of Pearl City, Hawaii. Is it mission impossible?
You know, it's funny because you've got a guy in Shea Patterson who was giving the SEC maybe a chance to have the nation's leading passer, and in steps Tombow. Not many people know a lot about him. The coaches very excited about what he can bring to this offense. A similar skill set, but it's implemented differently, a little bit more decisive, a little bit more of a runner.
6'2", 212-pounder. Nice quick throw. First up, that one goes to Dawson Knox, picks up 10. Take a look at our starting lineups brought to you by Principal Financial Group. And certainly Dawson Knox is a guy that they're going to have to focus on. Big hole off the right side. There goes Jordan Wilkins. We didn't even know if he's going to play, but the answer is emphatically yes. 6 for the Rebels, 64 yards. That'll get your day started the right way.
You think Ole Miss offense was ready to go in this one? You come in, you got a new face at quarterback. What's the best way to get going? Well, you build on last week's performance. Dawson Knox had a career high at his tight end position. And then Jordan Wilkins, one of the top all-purpose yardage generators for this offense, taking it the distance on the ground.
Point after is up and good. 7-0. The Rebels out in front. Haven't even played a minute.
Well, the opening happens right on the right side, and it's excellent vision by Wilkins because he ends up taking it on the backdoor cut. They pull a lineman from the right side, Alan Givens, working towards the left side of the offensive front, and Wilkins just sees a vacancy on the backside of this run. Great vision from the running back of Ole Miss, a guy that has really stepped up his production early on. This offense very much one-dimensional, very pass-oriented. We think that we'll actually see today, Dave, what the offense is intended to look like. Patterson's more of a creative player. Tombow will play within the structure of the offense, and Wilkins, a guy that they've needed and wanted to step up in the ground game. He's done so the last 4 games, 365 yards on the ground. And boy, he announced his presence with authority early in this contest.
Boy, the Hogs against SEC opponents averaging almost, allowing 48 points per game. That will go to Devion Warren, who had a 100-yard kick return last week. And he'll get it out to the 30-yard line. I'm thinking somebody might take one back to the house today. I'm just guessing.
We knew coming into it, special teams would play a role.
Well, the big fella, Colt Kelly, gets another start today. The freshman, the redshirt freshman, in place of Austin Allen, who's still out with a bad shoulder. He's had some bright spots.
He has. He's a big body, obviously at the quarterback position. He's not overly mobile, a decent runner, but only when you get him moving downhill. There's a reason why they call him a steamboat. He's a hard guy to get stopped, hard guy to bring down. But it's been difficult for this offense all season long, regardless of who's been at quarterback, of keeping their passer clean. Keep an eye on the line of scrimmage today to see just how well the Arkansas front plays.
Here's Kelly. Loves to run with the football. The big fella has an opportunity on first down, and he'll pick up 5 yards. So second down and 5 for an Arkansas offense averaging 27 points a game, 71st in the country. Cut back from Devil Whaley. Breland Speaks trips him up. Gain of 3 as we take a look at the starting lineups for Arkansas offensively. And certainly this is an offense that's got to rework its offensive line and give that guy, Devwah Whaley, and of course David Williams, their other running back, an opportunity to run.
No question. They need a big day out of Devwah Whaley.
Close to the first down line. Whaley on that carry right to the 40-yard line. They're going to move the chains.
And the idea here today for Ole Miss defensively is to try to get Arkansas into their passing attack. Try to win on those early downs. They want to stay away from second and mediums, third and short. Right now, Arkansas, when they get in those third down scenarios, they're able to convert at about a 42% clip. Sustaining drives versus this Ole Miss defense that struggles versus the run.
Hand off inside the 45 all the way down to the 40-yard line as we look at this Ole Miss defense today. And we could see some interesting alignments.
You know, when Arkansas and if Arkansas goes with some of their big personnel, multiple tight end sets, you'll see 5 defensive linemen in the game for Ole Miss. DeMarcus Gates will be the only linebacker at the second level.
Broken tackle down to the 31-yard line goes Whaley. He picks up 8 more. Boy, this Ole Miss defense has really struggled. Last 4 games rushing. They've allowed 365 to Bama, 326 to Auburn. They held Vandy to 188, but 383 last week against LSU.
And a lot of it has been, it's not just technique or ability to get off blocks. It has been alignment issues where they have not been able to set their front 7 defenders appropriately, and there have been unoccupied gaps in the run game.
Williams will cut it back and get it inside the 30-yard line. Gates first one there, and then a whole slew of blue jerseys help him out. What are our keys to the game today, Stinch?
Well, you know, for Arkansas, it's going to be able to formation and shift their way into some of these unoccupied gaps. Make Ole Miss align and play assignment football defensively. That's just pre-snap. See if you can't create an advantage offensively based on how you're going to set your formation. We saw shifts and formations last week by LSU to put Ole Miss out of sync and incapable of lining up in the appropriate gap, and it led to a record rushing day for Darius Geis.
5 receiver look from Arkansas, and Kelly. Pocket collapsed. And this is exactly what Ole Miss was looking for. Matter of fact, Bussy McGriff, the defense coordinator, said you got to earn the right to rush the passer.
Well, and so far, Arkansas has done a relatively good job early downs. Even when the pocket collapsed, we've seen Colt Kelly scramble forward to pick up positive yardage. That time, able to get the big quarterback down on the ground, something that's not an easy task. And this is the first 3rd and long that Ole Miss has been able to set up this entire drive. Keep an eye on that right side of the Arkansas offensive line. Brian Wallace at right tackle.
Kelly dumps it off underneath. Pass is caught. That'll be a first down for the Hogs. It goes to Deion Stewart, who was down to the 15-yard line. Picks up 16 yards on 3rd down.
Nice protection. Great job by Arkansas, allowing Kelly time in the pocket. Able to find Stewart, you know, a receiver that they're expecting to step up a little bit. Jonathan Nance has been a guy that's kind of been a little bit quieter. Haven't trusted him as much at receiver. Great job finding the open man underneath to get the conversion.
Traditional I formation from the Hogs. Here's Williams. Graduate transfer out of South Carolina. His first year with Arkansas, picks up 3.
You see Taylor Polk in there at linebacker. He's probably one of the guys for Ole Miss that does the best job of getting their defense aligned appropriately. So you look at a pro set, a power I formation, something that's somewhat of a dinosaur. Nobody does this hardly anymore. Ole Miss is built to face offenses where they're in 11 personnel, a tight end, 1 back. When they get big like this, that's taking the Rebels out of their comfort zone.
Stewart goes in motion. They'll set up a screen to the near side, and it works well. Here's Whaley to the goal line. Touchdown, Arkansas from 12 yards out. What a drive by the Hogs.
An impressive opening offensive possession. 2 entirely different styles. Ole Miss with the quick strike. They get in the end zone. Arkansas methodically moving the ball down the field, converting on 3rd downs, including a 3rd and long, which was the advantageous scenario that the Ole Miss defense was seeking. The protection held up, got the conversion, and then the screen game coming up big for the Razorbacks.
Point after is up and good from Connor Linford. How about that drive? Good answer. 13 plays, 70 yards, 6.5 minutes off the clock. The redshirt freshman quarterback, Colt Kelly, will get a touchdown pass on his ledger. Walk of Champions on a day where the Hogs and the Rebels meet. 64th meeting between these two clubs. A little discrepancy on the season series. One says it's 35 wins for Arkansas. One says it's 34.
You give the edge to the home team, right? It's always an asterisk. Whoever's hosting, they get to use their record.
Jalen Jones out of the end zone. Oh, and he slips at the 27-yard line. Well, for the Rebels, this was a season that got started with a couple of wins, and then you mentioned in our open today, the Cal game is the one that kind of got them off the rails a little bit.
You know, they expected to win that game. Started the season off very strongly, offensively, setting up records. Was Shea Patterson lighting up the scoreboard, and then at Cal, didn't play well in the second half. And they kind of got derailed. You know, they lose 4 of the next 5, and you know, in a season where they'd already dealt with so much turbulence in the preseason, I think that was one of those things where they just couldn't quite weather the storm. A chance to right the ship here today.
Jordan Wilkins on his first carry went 64 yards for a touchdown. This time Wilkins loses a yard. Dwayne Eugene, the first one there.
See the difference in those drives. I mean, obviously Ole Miss comes out, lightning strike. Arkansas just thumped their way right down the field. You know, after that run by Wilkins, he kind of limped off a little bit, had an injured ankle, was a little bit swollen after last week's contest.
Tombow going down the far side, has a man, passes caught. DeMarcus Lodge, the junior, with his 26th catch of the year, and it's a big one inside the 30, a 44-yard gain.
Now this wide receiving core for Ole Miss is lethal. We already saw Dawson Knox, who's contributing at tight end, but DeMarcus Lodge, one of the fastest receivers among the core.
Quick leap to the line, over the middle, pass is caught. This one goes to Van Jefferson, who we didn't think would play, got hurt at practice on Thursday, and it wasn't until right before kickoff that he determined he was good to go, 26 yards.
Offensive coordinator Phil Longo said, look, we're not real happy. Van Jefferson was a big part of our game plan. He can play every wide receiver position for Ole Miss. Already able to overcome that tweaked knee from the 2-minute drill.
From the 2-yard line, straight ahead handoff. Eric Sweeney. Touchdown, Ole Miss. How about Jordan Tombow? 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
He's pretty good throwing the football, doesn't he? And they talked about, look, this guy might be a little bit more of a runner. Patterson's more of a lateral guy, a creator. At quarterback, Tombow is going to go through his progressions, and if it's not there, he's going to get vertical and run the football. Hasn't had to do that so far. And Ole Miss quickly back on top.
Well, the big gainer, 44 yards, goes to DeMarcus Lodge. It kind of got this drive rolling, got their tempo going, and Ole Miss knows what to do with it from there. They answer the Arkansas touchdown and now lead it by 7. Well, this Ole Miss offense cranked it up. Arkansas does what they do. They eat up a lot of clock. They drive it down the field. They get a touchdown. Well, we knew coming in this could be exciting.
Well, I mean, both these defenses have been giving up a ton of points, a lot of yards. You know, and so far, you know, it's been run defense, of course, for both sides. But you look at these drives, you know, the disparity being the number of plays they've required. Arkansas able to possess the football and move it down on a 13-play, 70-yard drive. Ole Miss still covering the same amount of ground, but just doing it much quicker. And, of course, that's kind of in keeping with their two offensive styles. And so far, everybody kind of playing to form.
Revion Warren. Oh, he is leveled at the 22-yard line. Jordan Jones trying to turn the corner. He is flipped up by DeMarcus Gates. No gain. Jordan Jones flipped up in the air.
A big first down play by the Ole Miss defense to get Arkansas off schedule.
But they get right back on schedule. Out over the 30-yard line goes David Williams. He'll pick up 9. And now you're looking at third and relatively short.
Right downhill. Right there on the inside of Ole Miss. An A-gap run straight downhill by David Williams. And now jumping the ball with some tempo.
Will play action. Trying to hit Austin Cantrell. A little bit behind him, and it's a 4th down situation.
You know, moving the pocket this time. We're getting Colt Kelly out of there off a play action fake, trying to get a high percentage throw. And it was the pressure by Haynes and Josiah Coatney getting upfield quickly to force Kelly on the errant pass. Cantrell incapable of corralling that one, and the tight end position really has been quiet throughout this season for Arkansas, and a big stop by the Rebel defense.
A.J. Brown back to return this punt. A short kick. That will hit at the 37 and out of bounds around the 33-yard line, a 36-yard kick. Boy, temperatures were in the low 30s when we got up this morning, headed to Vaught Hemingway Stadium, but it's warmed up nicely on a fall day. One guy that's enjoying it from the sidelines, I don't know if he's enjoying it or not, this guy, Shea Patterson. He was your midseason MVP, and in a freak accident, a freak injury,
yeah,
he is out for the year with torn PCL.
And what a gutty performance Shea Patterson has had throughout this season, really, because most of the offense has hinged on his performance as a passer. And as we've already noted, one of the most prolific passers in the country, a non-contact injury. He went down and tried to fight through it, came back in the ballgame versus LSU. But he is now done for the year with that PCL injury to his knee. A dynamic playmaker, and so far, his backup, Jordan Tombow, enjoying a perfect game as a passer.
So on 2nd down, Ole Miss split 3 receivers to the far side. Amu over the middle. Pass is caught at the 40 and driving for a first down at the 45-yard line after a 12-yard pickup goes Octavius Cooley.
And Cooley, one of the tight ends, he was split out wide. And, you know, Tombow, they talked about him. He's very decisive, able to get that ball in there quickly. Ball's going to come out of his hands, and if it doesn't, he's going to be decisive and run.
Here's the 2nd catch for Cooley. They'll hand it off to Wilkins, who will pick up 6. Let's go down to Dawn.
Guys, keep an eye on Wilkins. He hopped on the training table before this last drive. They retaped that right ankle, also taped his left ankle. It's clearly bothering him.
Coming out here to the near side. That was dropped by Metcalf.
Metcalf was a guy that defensive coordinator Paul Rhodes at Arkansas said he was concerned about. He's an animal. 6'4", 225 pounds. A big drop on that one. You got to be able to make that reception, and he's thinking yards after the catch. Can I break a tackle and get upfield? Step 1 is secure the football.
Vaughn Finneman in the backfield. We'll work to the left side with Amu at the New Mexico Military Academy. And that is exactly what they like about that junior college transfer as he takes it 49 yards.
That wasn't Tombow being decisive. That was it being pre-decided. QB draw all the way. You could see Ole Miss offensively a little bit more deliberate on that play call, looking to the sidelines. Penniman comes in, gets a nice lead block. And they mentioned we'd see some more Q run game. Well, Shea Patterson, as mobile as he is, minus 16 yards rushing. Now, a lot of that is sack yardage. But he's more of a scrambler. Tombow showing that he is a legit threat with the ball in his hands as a runner.
Well, he came out as a number 6 dual threat JC quarterback in the country, showing a little bit of that threat as he takes it to the end zone. Ole Miss has jumped out to a 21-7 advantage. Their scoring drives have been 31 seconds, a minute 5, and a minute 11.
And the challenge, if you're Arkansas, is this is a defense that's built on preventing the big play. They're not overly aggressive, but so far it hasn't been enough. Ole Miss still finding ways to pierce the Razorbacks, not only in the air, but a couple of big long runs from both the quarterback and the running back in Jordan Wilkins.
Luke Logan kicks it off short. At the 15-yard line is Warren. He's trying to get it to the outside, and he's knocked out of bounds. And there goes T.J. Hammonds, who was a running back, moved to wide receiver at the beginning of the year, and now has an opportunity back at the running back spot. Flag comes in, but he picks up 8, his first carry today. Coaches said he had a great week of practice, and I'm surprised it took this long for him to get a carry today.
Hands to the face on the defense, number 24. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, automatic first down.
That's Taylor Polk, who's in there, is going to play a key role, as we mentioned, and you can see the hands to the face. You just can't do it. And you see that a lot, usually along the lines of scrimmage. Defensive lineman, offensive lineman, those hands get high. That time, Taylor Polk trying to make up from some of that size disadvantage he's got. Look at this shift.
Boy, look at this formation. They'll bunch it out to the wide side. Now they'll bring a player in motion and toss it to him, and a loss of 2 on the play. Gary Cross comes across the formation, and that didn't work.
We used to have something like this. They call it Star Wars. You've got some offensive linemen out here wide. See if you can't get the defense to overcompensate and generate a numbers advantage. And so if you look out wide, if there's not enough defenders, the quarterback will just stand up, flip it out over there towards the numbers. Basically, you're moving the line of scrimmage. Ole Miss did a great job adjusting.
Big hole for Devois Whaley. Boy, between the tackles, they have had some tremendous success running the football against the Rebels today.
You'd be surprised. I was surprised earlier on the 3rd down, a 3rd and short, why you wouldn't try an inside run, because it's something that Ole Miss has struggled throughout the season in stopping, and even in this game, Arkansas successfully running it.
Oh, Whaley fell down. He got the toss back to Whaley, who keeps his feet alive, and he may have enough for the first down. We'll see where the spot is.
What an effort by Devois Whaley here, and Colt Kelly for that matter. He might be down before he flips this ball back. You know, field goal kicking has been an adventure for Arkansas this year. It's early yet in this game, but I'm not surprised. I would be a little bit surprised, and we're going to see a field goal attempt here. But
yeah, it seems like touchdowns.
You know, touchdowns might come in handy on a 4th down. Of course, that was a big play, a big misstep, literally, for Arkansas on a 3rd and short.
Here's Connor Linford, who was 4 out of 4 since he took over the kicking duties. His longest 48 against South Carolina. This from 45. It is no good. Plenty of juice. His torch was off, as we say.
Yeah, in golf and in field goal kicking, right? And you're sitting here and going, Limpert getting in there and just pulled this one, lefty. And as we've mentioned, field goal place kicking in general for Arkansas throughout this season has not been a strength, that's for certain.
1st and 10 for Ole Miss. They have scored in all 3 possessions, and it didn't take long to do so. They start from the 27-yard line. That Handoff goes to Wilkins, who, even with that bad ankle, powers his way for 11 yards.
Wilkins has done a good job, I think, finding that backside cut. Really, he's just running straight downhill on a zone to the left, and he's finding room to the right of the offensive front.
Play fake it to Amu coming near side. That pass is caught by DK Metcalf, a gain of 7.
Against Andre Tolliver, and you know, Arkansas, they've shown early on in the year, spent a lot of time in zone coverage. Versus Alabama, they spent a little bit more manned up. It's so difficult versus Ole Miss because of their strength. They've got a tremendous advantage with their size at wide receiver, but right now, both the ground game and the passing attack working for the Ole Miss Rebels, and they're piling up the yards versus Arkansas defensively.
Dave Neal, Matt Stinchcomb, Don Davenport with you on a warm afternoon here at Vaught-Hemingway Stadium. And if you missed the first quarter, you missed quite a bit of Ole Miss offense. 31 seconds on their opening possession, went for a touchdown, 64 yards by Jordan Wilkins in 1:05 on their second drive. Third drive went 1:11. Amu, their quarterback, 49-yard touchdown run. Well, that throw behind his intended receiver, Van Jefferson. Lucky that didn't get picked. Andre Tolliver in on coverage.
We've seen Arkansas a couple of times today either stop Ole Miss for no gain or create a negative yardage play. And here in the red zone fringe on a 3rd and 10 plus, you got to be careful because Tamu's already hurt you on a QB draw. I don't think we get that call here. If the pocket breaks down, you better get your eyes wheeled around if you're in coverage to stop a quarterback scramble.
Throws a seed that's caught by Markel Pack, who is back on the field. The senior's really been bothered by injuries this year. Glad to have him back in the lineup, just adding to the depth at that wide receiver position, but not enough for the first down, so it'll be a kicking situation for the Rebels.
You know, Pack is a guy that they were expecting to step up, especially if Van Jefferson was incapable of going, had that knee swell up in the 2-minute drill in practice on a Thursday. Pack, who's largely been hampered by injury as well.
37-yarder from one of the best in the business, Gary Wunderlich. He'll split the uprights. Been bothered by a bad hamstring, but looked healthy on that kick. 3 more on the board for the Rebels. They now lead at 24-7. Back to Oxford right after this. Boy, there have been some outstanding meetings between the Hogs and the Rebels. 2001, how about the 7 overtime game? An FBS record, 58-56. The Hogs win that one. 2012, Ole Miss wins at 30-27. Bryson Rose, 31-yard field goal as time expired. Then, boy, this is a painful one for Ole Miss, but certainly one that'll bring back some smiles to Hog fans. 53-52. How about the 4th down lateral that kept it alive? The 2-point conversion won it. And then last year, Arkansas wins at 34-30. Jared Cornelius had the go-ahead 6-yard run with just over 2 minutes to go. That game in 15 kept Ole Miss perhaps out of the SEC.
Yeah, that was brutal. A brutal loss, of course, for a team that's never found a way to win that division outright.
David Williams moving it out to the 38-yard line. Picks up 3. Arkansas has to sustain some drives. This obviously is a game that's not going to sit at 24-7, and you need points.
You're right. You know, you get a stop in the red zone fringe, you force a field goal. That's a big quote-unquote stop, we're going to say, because so far the Ole Miss offense has been clicking on all cylinders. Arkansas needs to stage a drive, keep their defense off of the field, and come away with points on this possession.
Kelly steps up at the pocket. Low throw intended for Jordan Jones. Now it's 3rd down. Miles Hartsfield, sophomore corner, in on that coverage.
You know, the difficulty I think that Arkansas will find is that they're not going to be able to get many receivers out in the route in an attempt to keep the pocket clean. It was a nice pocket there, but the difficulty is Arkansas's receivers, they don't scare Ole Miss defensively. At the corner position in their secondary, they're not scared to man up versus these receivers who struggle to get off press coverage and have difficulty creating separation.
Nance goes in motion. Kelly throws as he hits the turf. Incomplete, looking for the tight end, C.J. O'Grady. Pressure came from Vreeland Speaks.
Well, Kelly, that time he's trying to manage the pocket and step up, keep his eyes downfield. Speaks ultimately able to come in there and crash down late. Doesn't get what he wants on that throw. You almost wonder, as Kelly, as big as he is, if he doesn't just tuck it and run it, maybe get that conversion.
A.J. Brown at the 19. And he'll run out of bounds at the 35-yard line. A big pile up there. I don't see a flag as of yet. Let's hope everybody gets up. 12:01 to go, second quarter. Rebels lead at 24-7. Back to Vaught Hemingway in a moment. They'll swing it out to Penniman near side. And of course, we capped it off with a nice night down on the square at Boo-Ray, Kyle Campbell, and Ole Miss showing us the way.
Glad I brought elastic pants. I had my Eaton pants on.
I didn't know you were wearing elastic pants last night. You didn't point that out.
It was a hidden expandable waistband.
On second down, pass is caught. There goes DK Metcalf turning the corner. They'll mark him out of bounds around the 36-yard line.
And this is what Arkansas was concerned about. DK Metcalf, he had a drop earlier in the game, but this is what he was looking to do. It's the yards after the catch. It's an easy throw. It's a quick pitch and catch. Can you get him down at 6'4", 225 with speed? This is the son of a former All-American offensive lineman.
To Amu, spins out of trouble, throws it up in the air. A.J. Brown brings it down inside the 10-yard line. That's just what he does.
Now that was kind of shades of Shea Patterson that time. Tombow didn't like what he had in the pocket, scrambles out, shows some of that escapability, but kept his eyes downfield and hit the #1 receiver in the SEC in A.J. Brown.
First in receiving yards, first in touchdowns. To Amu will add another touchdown to his stat ledger. His second today, that one from 8 yards out. His first one went 49.
I think they found a good backup to Shea Patterson. I mean, he has looked more than comfortable on this stage. They talked about the confidence that they were able to gain by the field goal right before halftime versus LSU. Patterson comes back in. Tombow has to finish the game, leads a drive for a touchdown late versus LSU. You think those are trash minutes or throwaway points? They aren't. You're able to build on your confidence from drives like that, and you're able to get a strong performance.
Boy, if you're Arkansas, you got to find something right now, because you have not been able to stop this Ole Miss offense. It is now 31-7.
And Tombow, they talked about how stoic he's been, kind of a hang-loose guy. Phil Longo, the offensive coordinator, first year here at Ole Miss, mentioned he was very excited to see how his offense would look with Tombow. You see those two guys side by side. They got a pretty good rapport. And so far, Tombow making it happen every way that you can offensively for Ole Miss.
Well, their first drive went 70 yards, 6.5 minutes off the clock, and they got a touchdown. Their 5 drives since, or drives since then, have amounted 50 yards, 55 yards, 3 punts, and a missed field goal.
That's something that they have to find a way to stay on the field. We're talking about the points, right? You got to get that as well, but it's not just, hey, offense. We want to get on the scoreboard. It's our defense. They finally got the ball back to you. We've only got one other quote-unquote stop, forcing a field goal. You got to capitalize on this possession.
Second down. It's called 6.5. Williams, he's out to the 39-yard line. Be a couple of yards shy.
And this is what I anticipated Arkansas trying. Now, the difficulty is the score's gotten away with them so quickly, but last week, LSU had a ton of success running off tackle. They had a ton of success running a lot of places versus Ole Miss, but specifically when you add that extra surface, you get a couple of tight ends in there, and you attack those C and D gaps, the gaps between the tackle and the tight end and outside, and allowing your runner to get downhill. Great job that time to set up a 3rd and short, a chance where Arkansas can convert.
Colt Kelly, the big fella, will cut it back and have the first down.
Same thing. That time, though, in the Q run game. Get a puller outside. You got angles where you get a couple of down blocks. And Colt Kelly's able to just get it outside the tackle. You'll see the bunch formation to the right. You get a couple of pin blocks, and you pull your tackle and Brian Wallace to be your lead blocker and let your 6'7", 260-pound running back in this instance fall forward for the first down.
TJ Hammonds will fake it to him. Kelly rolling near side. That pass is caught. Austin Cantrell into Ole Miss territory at the 48. Give him 9 yards.
Cantrell's a guy that they've been trying to get going at. Same with C.J. O'Grady. You know, a strong tradition at the tight end spot for Arkansas historically. Haven't really been able to get that position going. They tried earlier on, but that's a big first down gain, a second and anything. Pick something out of your playbook. This is an opportunity for the Arkansas offense in plus territory. Just don't lose yardage and set up a 3rd and unmanageable, but a chance to take a shot here.
They'll hand it off. There goes TJ Hammonds. Hammonds to the 30. Stays on his feet to the 26. There has been a bright spot for Arkansas. 22 yards for TJ Hammonds, the sophomore out of Little Rock, who came in with just 22 touches in a year and a half.
Well, once again, he does a great job. Just nice burst. Gets downhill quickly to the right side of the Arkansas front. And they're just zone blocking up front. Fantastic job of creating some lateral movement, covering up the defenders, and allowing your running back to get to the line of scrimmage clean and just try to show that second level burst to run away from the linebacker.
2 tight end looks, single setback. They'll go with Williams. Been a tough week for Dan Enos, the offensive coordinator, now in his 3rd year at Arkansas. Lost his father this past week, and boy, we got a chance to talk to him, and you could just tell that he was just so proud of what his dad meant. Guy played minor league baseball, semi-pro football. He played adult league hockey. He was a Golden Gloves boxer, was still hitting the big bag and the heavy bag just a few years ago. You know, I mean, it's just, he said the one thing about his dad, he said, actually 2 things. He said, my dad was a beast, and he never said no. Yeah,
whenever they want to go play catch, they want to go out in the yard, he was out there with his boys, and you tell obviously a very tough week for the offensive coordinator at Arkansas.
Loss of a yard. Gates coming up to make another play. That's 6 tackles behind the line. Make that 7 by Ole Miss. Gates already has 7 tackles.
You see Gates, you know, once again does a great job. This time he's on the end of the line. He's going to be able to get up quickly, beating the block of Colton Jackson right now, coming out of a timeout. And Gates is a guy that they love. They'll move him around, doesn't just play off the line inside. They'll line him up at the end of the line of scrimmage. Great play by the leading tackler of Ole Miss.
3rd down. Pressure comes. Kelly, pump fakes, has the first down and touchdown. And he got rocked right at the goal line. A 15-yard scramble. Zedrick Woods came over to put the hit on the big quarterback that goes 6'7", 268. He needed every inch and every pound.
And does he get in as he gets to the goal line? Ruled a touchdown on the field. Ran right through the tackle of Taylor Polk. And look at that shot that he takes. Zedrick Woods. It's an appropriate last name. He brought the wood. Bam. Right there at the goal line. Tough to tell from that look. First angle was a pretty good look at it. That was a big decision for Arkansas.
Point after is up and good. Now Colt Kelly with a great run, tough run, gets him in the end zone. See if that's a little bit of a spark that they need 10 plays, 70 yards, 5:44 off the clock. That kickoff taken by Jones. He'll be stopped at the 20-yard line. Take it to Wilkins. Tombow. A sidearm toss, and that'll be incomplete.
Josh Liddell coming over. He actually made the catch out of bounds, fighting Dawson Knox for that football. A couple of tight coverage windows that time on consecutive throws here in this possession. Tombow pressure in his face. Bijan Jackson rather, able to get upfield quickly. Tombow flushing out of that pocket. You see Liddell came up with that football.
Pressure comes. Pass caught. Van Jefferson will have it right at the first down line. 11 yards. Andre Tolliver on the coverage, but move the chains.
That time a sure tackle by Andre Tolliver. Something that Paul Rhodes talked about. You let him catch, complete, and tackle, but keep him in front of you. Earlier we saw where DK Metcalf able to break a tackle along that boundary and get off a big run.
Tombow, and that one is picked off at the 25-yard line. DeAndre Coley still on his feet, cuts it back, and he'll be dropped at the 22-yard line. Back-to-back turnovers for Ole Miss has put Arkansas in position here with 1:08 to go before halftime.
Well, you talked about what the spark is. Arkansas's offense able to capitalize on it, and Tombow doing a great job. And Josh Liddell, who did a great job earlier, coming up with a pick but was out of bounds, and this time able to get the interception, get upfield quickly, and sets his offense up with a short field there in the red zone on the 20-yard line, and Arkansas with another chance to get it in the end zone. And you know, it's Tombow that we mentioned, the pressure. You know, McTelvin Agim, a guy that they've been waiting to step up. He's able to win, get pressure late. Tombow was pressured often on that offensive possession. Bad decision, threw into traffic, and Liddell made him pay.
Liddell, not Coley with that interception, and here is Kelly going to the corner of the end zone into double coverage, and wisely throws it out of bounds. Well, this completely changed the dynamic here with a touchdown.
You're not kidding. I mean, there's no news here, right? You've got a minute, short football field. You got to be smart here, of course. You want to come away with a touchdown. But there's also some clock management considerations that you want to have as well. You want to leave time. Obviously, Ole Miss, if this takes a second, if they want to preserve some time here in the first half. Back-to-back turnovers, maybe not.
Kelly is dropped back at the 23-yard line. Breland Speaks.
Speaks ends up with this sack, but the pressure was created right off of the edge. They flush Speaks, Kelly up into the pocket. Speaks awaiting the Arkansas quarterback. A chance to get a first down, obviously here. Only 30 seconds left on the clock now for Arkansas. After that sack, clock kept running.
22 sacks on the year now allowed by this Arkansas offensive line. Third down. The pressure comes. Kelly throws wide open. Deion Stewart to the end zone. Touchdown, Arkansas. 13 seconds on the clock. That goes 23 yards. Well, we got ourselves a ball game again.
Coming into this game, Arkansas had generated 10 turnovers. You know, defensively, it's not a strength. They've been hemorrhaging yards. They were going to, yet again, seemingly on a forced fumble, got the ball back. Then you get an interception and a huge return by Liddell. Able to get pressure on Tombow was the difference on defense for Arkansas. You set your offense up with a short field. And on back-to-back takeaways, the Razorbacks now with 14 points off of turnovers in this game and have clawed their way back into contention.
Thought we would. 52 combined points. Ole Miss will leave with a 10-point advantage after 30 minutes of football. So our halftime score, Ole Miss 31, Arkansas 21. Time to get into the studio. Peter Burns, take it away.
Well, Coach, Arkansas with 14 points off turnovers there in the second quarter. What do you do to eliminate those mistakes?
Well, I just think we got to hold on to the ball. It was a nice play by Cooley. He just got to hold on to the ball. And then, you know, Jordan's been playing well. Just, you know, one bad throw, we're okay with that. We still hadn't punted yet. Playing really well. We just got to be smart with the football. What
has impressed you the most so far about Jordan's performance?
He doesn't seem rattled. He seems, and he's able to run the ball. That adds another dimension to our offense.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Getting set for second half kick here at Vaught-Hemingway Stadium. Ole Miss looked like they were going to have a walk in the park. Arkansas says not so fast. 31-21 game, and the Hogs will have the football to start the second half. Dave Neal, Matt Stinchcomb, Dawn Davenport down on the sidelines. And boy, I tell you what, Stinch, I don't think you can even quantify how big those two scores late in the second quarter were for Arkansas.
Well, what would your message be at halftime, right? If you're Brett Bielema, what are we playing for? Well, we're going to play for 2 more quarters. But, I mean, what would be the purpose of it? Because you were getting boat raced in the first half because Ole Miss came out swinging early, a backup quarterback, Jordan Tombow, and he played nearly a flawless first half. Saw some nice plays in the offense, getting the ball downfield, running the football on the zone read on the outside of the counter. But, you know, ultimately it was the turnovers to get Arkansas right back into this football game.
And here's a big run, Jonathan Nance. Can anybody catch him? Yes, Miles Hartsfield will chase him down at the 31. And a great start for the Hogs after a 40-yard pickup.
You know, they got the 2 scores off of the turnovers right before half. And then there's no better way to start the second half. You get the ball offensively, you're climbing back into this game, and the first play from scrimmage, you rip off a nice long run, and you're getting your playmakers some touches. Jonathan Nance has been quiet in this one, a way to get him the ball in his hands.
They'll dump it to Hayden Johnson, and Hayden Johnson gets the first down. They'll spot him just inside the 20-yard line. Injured player over there on that Ole Miss bench. Or excuse me, the Arkansas bench.
Hayden Johnson did a great job of running behind his pads there at the end. And a little extracurricular activity after that contact. Hayden Johnson's a guy where obviously he'll line up as a fullback in that offensive backfield. You don't see a whole lot of fullbacks anymore. A lot of tight ends that might motion into a backfield. But Johnson showing his versatility. And a great opening possession here for Arkansas. A big run and then a first down to get you in the red zone. So far, Arkansas perfect on the red zone possessions.
Inside handoff down to the 14 goes Whaley. Let's go down to Dawn.
Well, guys, Arkansas has been outscored 144-71 in the second half of games this season. Brett Bielema pointed that out to his team. He said it's time to come and play for the second half of a game. He pointed out the last 2 offensive possessions were scores. Last 2 defensive possessions were scores. They need to carry that momentum in, and it's all because guys are making plays.
Yeah, he changed things up at practice this week, try to get his guys refocused, like to blow the whistle and pretend it's halftime at practice. The focus on the first few plays. So far, so good. Whaley tripped up there.
Yeah, I mean, when you're practicing halftime, things are not going well. But, you know, maybe it has worked because this is a heck of a way to open up that second half. You start and talk to these coaches. It's your opening possession, starting fast. It's also your first possession of the second half. You mentioned Whaley kind of slipping down, got tripped up in the hole. Set up at 3rd and medium. There's a chance, though, if he keeps his footing, he either converts or makes it a 3rd and short.
David Williams in it running back. Kelly throws. Pass is caught by Nance. Let's see where the forward progress is. Around the 9. And if so, that should be good enough for the first down. It is.
Nice protection because Ole Miss brought pressure from the edge. You watch David Williams cross all the way. Look at that read to make it all the way outside. Nice pickup that time. Keep your quarterback clean. The pickup on A.J. Moore, and Kelly with more than enough time. Marquis Haynes, an excellent pass rusher. Not the best cover guy, and an opportunity to get it to your playmaker.
Kelly trying to set up the screen. They do so. It goes to C.J. O'Grady. Touchdown, Arkansas. His second touchdown of the year.
And you can't start it any better than that in the second half. And we mentioned how important the screen game is to Arkansas and how well they execute. We've seen Ole Miss. They've defended the screen a couple times well in this game. The first score was off a screen to Whaley. This time to C.J. O'Grady. Nice patience. Nice blocking out in front to get the tight end into the end zone.
Well, how about 21 straight on the board for Arkansas? 8 plays, 73 yards, 4:13 off the clock. Oh, Kelly now 12 of 17, 115, and 3 touchdown passes. 31-28 our score, as Ole Miss has just allowed this Arkansas team to get the energy, get that life, get the enthusiasm back on the bench, because for a quarter and a half, there was nothing over there.
No, there really wasn't anything to speak of. We're up here talking about what do you play for and who's going to be the guy to get it ignited. A couple of turnovers and then an opening drive.
Bobbled in the end zone, and Jalen Jones is going to try to bring it out, and he stopped at the 4, and everything is going Arkansas's way now. Last 3 drives for Arkansas, 21 plays, 164 yards, and 3 touchdowns. High snap, handoff, goes to Wilkins. He'll take it out over the 10 to the 12-yard line. Gain of 8. So what's happened to Ole Miss? I mean, obviously they've turned the football over, but I mean, how do they get some of that juice back?
Well, it wasn't like they weren't moving the football. And it comes down to not only ball security with it in your hands, because that was a big gainer on the fumble.
Boy, and that one almost went right over the head of Jordan Tombow. T.J. Smith will get credit for the tackle.
We got a centered up nose tackle on a guy who hadn't had a ton of time at center in Jordan Sims. And whenever you got a nose tackle that's right over your hat, right over your nose at center, that's a difficult proposition in general. And then that shotgun snap sometimes gets a little bit errant. Threw the timing off of that play entirely.
3rd down. A.J. Brown goes in motion. Wilkins. He got it out over the 15, which will give him a 1st down.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like much, but when you need an answer in the second half, and 21 unanswered by your opponent offensively, you can't give the ball back right there on a 3rd and short. You get a bad snap, you got to muscle your way to continue this possession. If nothing else, to swing the momentum back your way.
Deep down the middle. Pass is caught. Metcalf still on his feet and tripped up at the 47-yard line. 38 more yards.
Off the play action, and Metcalf over there working on his own. Nice fake, head and shoulders. Had to wait on this ball. Andre Tolliver, he's got his hands full. And when he's singled up over there versus that big body, hard to bring him down after the catch.
Tombow to the corner. In the air, incomplete. They were trying to hit DeMarcus Lodge. Cameron Curl, the true freshman, in on the coverage. Another PBU for Cameron Curl, tied for the team lead in that department with Andre Tolliver.
You know, Ryan Pulley was a guy that went down early for Arkansas. They liked him a lot in the defensive secondary. And Cameron Curl is a true freshman. I think he's going to be a really good player for Arkansas down the road. That was excellent coverage that time with Lodge. We talk about Tombow giving his receivers a chance. We've seen a couple times, though, you can't put the ball in jeopardy.
Boy, Van Jefferson with a nice acrobatic catch, and he'll take it to the 25, a gain of 9. Let's go down to Dawn.
Stinch, you mentioned Ryan Pulley. He is still a big part of this team, even though he is done for this season. He actually texts Cameron Curl before every game and after every game. Talked to Cameron before this one. He said he hadn't gotten the text yet, but he said usually it's something like, go play great, nothing specific.
Well, it's working. Kid's playing pretty good right now. You can keep it generic, I guess. Curl did a great job, singled up on one of the better receivers for Ole Miss.
And Ole Miss has certainly captured some of the momentum away from Arkansas after the 4th down stop.
Got big bodies right here. That's Durante Bolden right there in the offensive backfield.
On 3rd and short, they'll go with Swinney. And that'll be good enough for the 1st down.
Let's get both those blocking backs to lead straight downhill. It's just that simple. I mean, and if you're Arkansas, you're sitting there going, hey, we could have done that. And right now, Ole Miss has got a chance to not only offer that stop, but they're knocking on the door to get their first score of the 2nd half.
Well, might have some fireworks in the 4th quarter. 31-28 our tally, 15 more minutes, if not more, coming up from Oxford. As we head to the 4th quarter, 31-28, we expected to have a good one here. 2 teams struggling, but 2 teams that were a lot alike. 1st down and 10 for Ole Miss. They're driving in a 3-point contest. And really the difference in this with a missed field goal. Connor Linford missed from 45 yards back in the 1st half. Otherwise, we'd be all squared up here.
It's hard to imagine the way Ole Miss kind of raced out to that lead, and Arkansas has stayed in this football game and fought their way back onto the scoreboard.
Tombow keeps it himself and hit as he throws. Randy Ramsey putting the pressure on the junior quarterback.
You know, Randy Ramsey was a guy that Arkansas was counting on being kind of a difference maker. When they made the transition to 3-4, didn't necessarily have all the personnel that they needed for that. And Ramsey was a guy, kind of a long guy, played with range. This game, he's already got 4 tackles and a tackle for loss.
3rd down now. To the end zone, nobody home. Looking for Lodge. Cameron Curl in coverage for Arkansas. And now you're looking at a 4th down. Let's see what Ole Miss is going to do. They're going to bring out one of the best foots in all of college football, and Gary Wonderlick.
You know, Wonderlick's the guy. We talk about the difference in this game. It's already been based on the margin now. You got 3-point lead is the difference in place kicking. Arkansas has been able to get it to a field goal. Now Ole Miss a chance to extend that lead.
36-yarder. He has hit from 37. Good clean snap. Kick it on the way. And as usual, that one splits the upright. Wonderlick now on the year, 9 out of 9. Warren on a nice pickup, looked like a shortstop. He is still on his feet to midfield, and they will spot him out of bounds. They're going to spot him back at the 46 of Arkansas, but what a return from the electrifying Devion Warren, 45 yards.
We came into this game expecting the return game to be exciting, and Devion Warren does a great job of delivering on that expectation. Taking it all the way from the opposite corner and getting that left field return. Showing excellent speeds, a lot of excitement from the equipment staff. Devion Warren makes it over there to the sideline, and excellent field position for his offense.
Kelly stumbles. And he'll be dropped, loses the football. Cantrell tried to pick it up. That didn't work. Ole Miss trying to pick it up, but still loose. They're going to say Ole Miss will have it. And the Rebels might be a little fortunate.
Wow. Ole Miss possessed this football? Ole Miss never, I don't see Ole Miss ever possessing that football. They should have. And Austin Cantrell ended up with it ultimately. you see the great pressure, and the ball just gets punched right out. Josiah Cody was down on it. A chance to recover by DeMarcus Gates. Miles Hartfield is celebrating, and Cantrell ends up with this football.
Did Gates have possession? Well, I mean,
no.
They're going to rule him down, though. So the play's over there if the whistle blew.
I guess they're saying he possessed it for a moment. His knee was down.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. First down.
Well, credit the officials on the field for getting it right the first time, but also this is an important play in this game.
Huge.
All turnovers are, but it's certainly in a game this tight. But they got the call correct on the field, and it certainly didn't look like Ole Miss ever possessed that football. You see Colt Kelly, he's had some difficulty from a ball security standpoint so far this season. He's had 4 fumbles, third one that he's lost.
Tombow spins, throws. Back shoulder throw, caught at the 11-yard line. Metcalf again stepping up 31 yards.
The size wins. You know, this ball's well underthrown. You get pressure, Tombow just spins out of it. And he just turns around and gives his receiver a chance. It's been dangerous a couple of different times. If Tolliver's aware the ball's in the air, that might have gone the other direction.
Tombow keeps it, slides down around the 6-yard line. He'll pick up 5. Tombow, by the way, today, 19 of 28, 358 through the air. He does have an interception. He has also rushed the ball 8 times for 84 yards.
He's also a quick learner. He took a shot last week versus LSU. He slid a couple of times in this game, and wisely so.
Well, the backup plan at quarterback from here on out for Ole Miss, a little sketchy. Jason Pellerin was a tight end. They moved back to quarterback this week. Here's Wilkins driving inside the 5. Wilkins up over 100 yards.
This is a play. They're pretty simple as Ole Miss, especially in the ground game. It's just a counter trade. A lot of offenses that call that play. You pull your backside guard and tackle and just get physical at the point of attack. Jordan Wilkins has proven to be a hard runner to bring down. Ole Miss is going to get big, bringing some size in there.
From the 4-yard line. They can get a first down inside the 2. Boy, A.J. Brown coming near side. Handoff goes to Wilkins. He'll get a yard. So now it's 4th down. What is Matt Luke thinking here?
He's going to send Mr. Legg out on the field. He passed the test earlier, right? Did Gary Wunderlich?
37 of 36. Good today for Mr. Wunderlich. On the year, he's 11 out of 14. He has been dead solid perfect inside of 40 yards this year. This one from 20, and he just hammers it through the upright. So Mr. Legg, as you referred to him, has been perfect today.
I thought it was quicker than to say Wunderlich.
And we still got plenty of football to go here. 9:52. Ole Miss has stretched this out to a 9-point game. There's just been kind of this series always seems like crazy things happen in this series.
It was breaking bad for Arkansas in this one, whereas it's been better. You know, Kelly falling down. That was early in the first half, and then the strange 4th down call on a 4th and short, and then the fumble in the pocket. It looked as if Ole Miss never secured the recovery, but the officiating crew on the ground, as did the replay booth, confirm that Ole Miss did in fact possess that football before Austin Cantrell fell on it. And Ole Miss was able to convert that into a field goal to stretch their lead to 9 points.
Luke Logan, short kick, little pooch kick. That'll be taken around the 30-yard line, and that's it. Down 9, Arkansas, first down and 10. Big hole off the right side. T.J. Hammonds, another big chunk of grass here at Vaught-Hemingway Stadium. 23 yards for the sophomore.
Nice blocking up front. Backside pull. You get Zach Rogers pulling from his center position. And T.J. Hammonds showing some of that burst. This is what they need from that running back spot, especially if they're going to keep the ball on the ground. It's only 9-point margin with 9.5 minutes to play. Absolutely, you stay in your offense. On the previous possession, they got the ball almost at midfield. And once again, the Arkansas offense able to play on Ole Miss's half.
TJ Hammonds back in the game, single setback. Working the left side for TJ. He'll get a yard. Josiah Coatney led the way defensively for Ole Miss. I tell you, this Arkansas team is running pretty well today. They've put up 226 yards on the ground. We kind of expected that coming in, the way Ole Miss was trending.
You know, Ole Miss has struggled mightily in the ground game, but some would say, oh, you got some pretty legit run offenses coming into this game. Arkansas was only averaging 160 yards on the ground. And we saw early on, it would seem like Arkansas would be taken out of that element of their offense completely because of the scoreboard, but the turnovers and the quick scores allowing Arkansas to remain balanced.
Kelly hit as he throws, passes dropped out of bounds. Jonathan Nance, the intended target. Haynes again, just kind of forcing a throw a little quicker than Kelly wanted to throw it.
You know, they've had so many new faces for Arkansas up front. Their offensive line. You know, Brian Wallace is a guy who's a heralded recruit, but he's kind of an inline mauler. He's not great in space. So in pass protection, he's compromised. Almost anyone is versus Marquis Haynes. He's got tremendous burst upfield, and this is when they rock and roll. Here's Haynes right here, coming off of the edge. They got a tight end to that side.
Incomplete. Trying to hit Jonathan Nance, and now it's 4th down, and you're kind of in that no man's land.
You know, we saw this in the first quarter, and we're looking at Arkansas. They allowed a couple of quick scores. As you see Haynes once again forcing Kelly to step up into the pocket. There was a nice pocket to step into, just nowhere to throw to. Nice coverage. In the backfield, Miles Hartfield did a great job of contesting that catch, and a 4th and long.
Another 4th down opportunity for Arkansas. On the year, they came into this game 7 out of 10 on 4th down. High throw, and it's picked off. Ole Miss will have the football. 1st down and 10, just inside their 30-yard line.
Well, a lot going on after that turnover. Yelda Froholt came over on the cover down. There's flags on the field. It's gotten chippy at times.
Javian Hamilton steps up to make the interception, and boy, did he get lit up on the sideline.
Well, it's a great play, and you see Yelda Froholt. We mentioned he's a converted defensive tackle. He comes over and blows Javian Hamilton up on the boundary. This is what they teach you, though. You get interception, get to the sideline, and I think number 51 said, look, I'm going to cover down on this thing. And Hamilton not only going down, looks like he's favoring his right shoulder as he left the field, but also one of the members of the chain crew down there got caught up in the fray. But a huge turnover on a 4th down play by the Ole Miss defense.
Loose football. Arkansas scoops it up, heading to the end zone. Kevin Richardson with the pick off the floor and the touchdown. That's how you get right back in it.
Well, that beats a 4th down conversion. You know, we've seen Arkansas in this half on a couple of 4th downs, and it hadn't worked out. And this is just a bad mesh. You see there, Tombow looked like he was intending to give it to Eric Swinney. Swinney never secured that football. It ends up on the ground. And what a huge turn of events.
Kevin Richardson was hurt earlier in this game. Comes back in, gets the scoop and score from 22 yards out.
You can see right there, and you know, Swinney, I don't know if he gave him a good pocket. I don't know if he gave his quarterback a good pocket to place this football, because when you're running any type of a read in the offensive backfield, The back has to come to the football. The quarterback does not take the ball to him. You're not looking at the handoff if you're the quarterback. You're looking to read the defensive front.
And now there's a little bit more juice on that Arkansas sideline in a 2-point game. Jones drops it again. The second time he's done that today, and he'll be wrapped up inside the 15-yard line.
Well, right when you think, and it's happened a couple of times, right, where it seems like the momentum has swung solidly to the Ole Miss sideline, and then a turnover occurs and gets Arkansas right back into the game.
It was 31-7 at one point today. Quick hitter to Van Jefferson. He'll pick up 10 yards. Randy Ramsey pushes him out of bounds.
Now, Van Jefferson, a guy that we didn't even know we'd get a chance to see in this game. A big part of this offense, one of their leading receivers from a season ago. They lost Stringfellow, they lost Adeboyo. Obviously, Evan Ingram, 3 of their top receivers from a year.
They'll go with Wilkins working the right side, and he is thrown to the turf. Pickup of 3, Ramsey and Greenlaw there.
We haven't mentioned Greenlaw's name very often for the Arkansas defense. Only 2 tackles on the afternoon. In this offensive possession, they're looking to slow down Ole Miss. 5 minutes yet to play, a 1-possession ball game, and a chance to get the ball back to your offense.
Not much room up the middle for Jordan Wilkins. TJ Smith, Austin Capps. Now it's 3rd down.
We've seen Tombow a couple of times now in this game where either a receiver will make the play for him or it'll be a no-advised throw. Obviously, we saw one there in the first half. It cost him. And this is an obvious passing down for him. And keep in mind, a mobile quarterback. Arkansas showing blitz pressure from the right side of the Ole Miss front.
Some pressure. Batted down, incomplete. 4th down coming up, and Arkansas has done their job defensively.
We mentioned Dre Greenlaw's name, and now Santos Ramirez with this pass breakup. And you see Tombow kind of drifting in that pocket. I don't like that very much. Takes that snap, drifts left hard, and then tries to get it back to the right side of the formation to Dawson Knox, and Ramirez was right underneath it to knock that ball down.
Good Ole Miss roll inside the 25-yard line. They'll swing it out to Nance. He cuts it back and will pick up about 6 yards on the play before he's brought down by A.J. Moore.
And now if you're Arkansas, we've seen them stage drives, 3 minutes and 44 seconds. Plenty of time. You've got your full complement of timeouts. There is no hurry up mode. You've got your offense available to you. Can you sustain a drive? Keep it manageable from a down and distance and stay out of obvious passing downs.
Whaley almost broke through. Hartsfield hanging on. Trips him up, gain of 8.
Shoestring tackle by Miles Hartfield. Because you said it, Dave, Whaley is inches away from breaking that run. He hadn't been healthy a lot this year. A guy that they've been counting on, obviously lost Raleigh Williams, retired. Devon Whaley has been slowed by injury mostly this season, hasn't really been able to round into form.
TJ Hammonds in the backfield. TJ out over the 40-yard line, gain of 6, and let's check in with Dawn.
Guys, officially injury report for junior cornerback Javion Hamilton is out with a head injury. He's still in the locker room, and they still are evaluating.
Thanks, Dawn. I mean, both these teams are running thin on bodies. They have been decimated by injuries.
It's been a relatively clean game injury-wise until here in the second half, and then a spate of injuries here late in this game.
Second down. Stay on the ground, and DJ Hammonds tripped up, loss of a yard. Gates now with 13 tackles, couple behind the line, a pressure, a fumble recovery. Now up to 70 tackles on the year.
Yeah, DeMarcus Gates was walked up into the line of scrimmage, and Arkansas was bringing Austin Cantrell across the formation. Gates just comes underneath that block and was able to trip up the ball carrier. Could be a big tackle once again from their leading tackle.
Kelly all day to throw. Underneath, passes caught, first down. C.J. O'Grady picks up 8.
Well, sorry, Dave. All day to throw was right. That's a great observation. That was important, to say the least. Kelly, shown some resilience in this game. He's had some difficulty, though. He's had some pressure. Obviously, some bad decisions at times. But that time, a clean pocket, decisive with the throw.
On first down, we'll throw to the wide side of the field, and that pass is caught, gain of 5. That one goes to Deion Stewart. Zedrick Woods knocks him out of bounds.
Zedrick Woods isn't scared to bring the hammer down from his safety position, but right now, we've seen this a couple times in this game where Arkansas seems to settle into a little bit of a rhythm. They get a gateway first down, and they're able to start opening up their playbook. If they can stay on schedule, obviously a big first down play right here allows you to do a little bit more creative things with your second down play and plus territory.
Pressure comes. Kelly stands in the pocket. We'll just sail that one out of bounds.
They brought the blitz, and DeMarcus Gates fell kind of right at the feet of Colt Kelly, but he had a little bit more time. Sometimes it's just enough when those defenders are following all around the feet of your quarterback.
3rd down and 4 coming up. More pressure from Ole Miss. Kelly trying to catch him in the blitz, and he can't hit his target, Jordan Jones. Now it's 4th down, and you got 1:05 to play. 4th and 4. 1:05 to play in regulation. Kelly dumps it off underneath, and there's a flag. Miles Hartsfield dragged Nance down to the turf before the ball got there.
Pass interference on the defense, number 15. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Great job by Colt Kelly managing this pocket, because there was traffic yet again. And you see Nance. There's bang, bang, and they're getting Hartfield on that left hand. Hard to see from that angle, but it seemed apparent that he clearly had that left arm wrapped around Nance. By the way, the body of the receiver was affected. A huge conversion for Arkansas to extend this drive.
Wobbly pass caught at the 32. Nance breaks a tackle. He's brought down around the 33-yard line. Hartsfield brings him down, but a pickup of 19.
I mean, right when you think that Arkansas has dug themselves a hole, and then they get right back out of it with the long completion. Nice protection again. That time a high throw. And we mentioned Zedrick Woods bringing the hammer. That time he just needed to tackle after a catch. Comes in and goes for the kill shot. Hartsfield able to finally wrap up Nance.
Well, the target line for Coach Bielema to get his kicker in makeable position was the 30, and they are just outside the 30-yard line now. It is second down and short. They need about a yard for the first down. Colt Kelly will run it. He'll have the first down to the 25. He'll pick up 6. That'll stop for a moment. 23 seconds on the clock.
As you can see, you see Colt Kelly resetting the formation, bringing his wide receivers in tight.
Williams cuts it to the outside, to the 20. He'll fall down around the 15-yard line, and Coach Bielema wants a timeout. 4 seconds to play. They've added 3 seconds back on the clock. Now 7 seconds to play in this, when the ball will be on the far hash. Remember a few weeks ago we were talking to Coach Bielema, asking the question in our meeting, how do you feel about your kicking game? And it was dead silence, an awkward silence.
Yeah, we had to think about it.
But Connor Linford has come in. He's missed today, but he was 4 out of 4 prior to today. Missed from 45. And he'll have a chance to send Arkansas home a winner, perhaps, if he can split the uprights. The Hogs have yet to win a conference game this year. This will be from 34 yards out. And it's good. Arkansas will take the lead, but there is a flag down.
Flag. Offside on the defense. That penalty is declined. Field goal is good.
38-37 lead for the Hogs with 4 seconds to play.
Connor Linford got a lot of looks at it, that's for sure. He gave him 3 mulligans. He didn't need any of them.
All right, well, we've seen a crazy lateral in this series before. Let's see if Ole Miss goes the lateral route on this kick. We picked up around the 20-yard line, and there the lateral starts. There's Wilkins with it now, and he has a little bit of room. He'll throw it back. It's on the ground, and that will do it. Arkansas will win this. What a comeback. Down 31-7. They will come back and win it 38-37. And that'll stop the bleeding for a while in Fayetteville, and see if this doesn't give the Hogs some momentum down the stretch.
We talk about the slide for Arkansas, the difficult stretch they found themselves in. They desperately needed a win here today versus Ole Miss. We've seen this scenario before for Brett Bielema and his club. They've been winless before in conference, but Ole Miss has been the team that they've been able to break the seal, and they were able to do it yet again.
Let's go down to Dawn.
Well, Coach Bielema, no Austin Allen, no Frank Ragnow. You're down 31-7. What did you learn about your team in this one?
Well, I know all along. Everybody keeps asking how these kids keep coming back, and there's the answer. They're resilient, got great character. Hopefully we'll take this and parlay it into something bigger.
Your defense with 3 takeaways. Yeah. What changed from the first quarter to later in the game with that?
All week we kind of talked about we got to change the answer. Obviously the first half has been going halfway well, but we haven't played in the second half. I thought the way we ended the second quarter would give us great momentum. Can't say enough about these kids. Hats off to Ole Miss. I know they're going through a tough one too, and their kids got great character to fight and make it one of these great games.
Coach, first SEC win for you guys this season. How big was it to do it in this way as you move forward?
Makes the next one bigger. Obviously, wanted to have one a lot sooner than this, but we'll take this one, regroup. We obviously got to focus on us because we're having so many guys fall down around us, and we got to get better at us. And again, a lot of credit to the kids.
Congrats, Coach.
Thank you. Woo pig.
It did not look good in the second quarter for anybody. There wasn't a whole lot of energy, but they brought it somehow, some way, to win this one on the road. Another classic one between the Hogs and the Rebels. Our final score, 38-37. Arkansas wins it. We'll come back, have more from Aksha, but first, time for us to get it to the studio. Peter, take it away.